This video is for Calvin Royale, but it's not just for you. It's for all the Calvin Royales in the country. It's for the people that share your cynical viewpoint. And I had to put some thought into it because it's not even you or your cynicism or you calling me out over my newly emerging presence that motivates me. I admit it, initially it was, but really, as I've been listening to more videos from Professor Black Truth, Superboy, and a few others, I'm understanding that there's the goal and everything else is a distraction. And the goal for me, and I hope it is for you, is a liberated society. Black empowerment is the liberated society. If I recall from one of Professor Black Truth's videos, he had spoke about how the concept of freedom or the concept of morals and ethics in America comes from black people. And I remember learning that years ago. And I had to do a study on understanding how the Constitution itself was debated. How initially they wanted to end slavery, but factions, especially in the South, had wanted to keep it. And how the delegates from the northern states had capitulated. And no, I am not here to try to defend the North or try to make it look like the naive North versus South side of things. But what I am here is to say that the liberated society that comes from black empowerment is also from the morals and ethics that only black people have brought into this country. I always have to remind myself that the rest of the world, their concept of freedom is based upon whether or not black people are equal. Whether or not black people are equal here, whether or not black people are equal throughout their society. Brazil woke up 10 to 15 years ago. That's why they have a Trump down there now. That's the white lash to black people waking up in Brazil. Skin lightening creams throughout the world are starting to be frowned down upon because of black people here pushing hard against that ignorance. But those are minor examples. And like you said before, this is stuff that you already know. But you wanted to know. You wanted to know what I'm about. And I'm not here to have a beef with you. I'm not here to prove to you that I'm above you or all that. I'm here because I care about seeing our children free. I want to see our children free. I want to see black boys especially go out, and if they want to own a business or work somewhere that has some dignity or some passion to their life, or whatever their own destiny is, that it is not screwed with by having their confidence pulled and torn down by these little white supremacist tactics from age 5 years old, 4 years old even, to college. And all in between, there are these little insidious little tactics to attack that self-esteem. I've seen it. I've seen the before and after. I've seen kids who would be the next astronaut or the next greatest inventor be psychologically resigned to a lesser outcome. I've seen doctors settle for anesthesiologists. I've seen great physicists become physicians. And I've seen engineers become technicians. And my answer to that is no. I will not accept that. I grew up in the middle of the hood. I saw the destruction and I saw the distractions. I've had to speak up, sometimes solely in my college, practically an all-white college, defending black history from distortions, speaking up for black children and black parents who are misrepresented in society. I've seen it. So liberated society, which is not something that this world has truly seen, we have to leave the mentality from slavery and Jim Crow segregation. And although we can all say that we already know that, sometimes the devil is truly in those details. We did start our little communities that would become liberated societies, but white people burned them down. Every month, I'm learning that there's yet another city that was a well-off or middle class or growing black city that was burned down by jealous, hating, white, racist people. So I know that we have to watch out for that kind of reaction. That's down the road. When I wanted to post my videos after hearing Professor Black Truth express his points of view and noticing how he speaks, a lot of how he expresses himself reminds me of how I come across. Of course, he's far more knowledgeable and experienced and he has more insight, but I certainly don't want to seem like I'm copying. And I've tried to moderate myself as I arrive here on the scene, out of respect at the very least. But at this point, in fact, due to the fact that I can't even express myself in any way without this ignorant criticism from other black people, then so be it. Because I had to think about it. You were right when you said, hey, I don't really have a presence. I'm probably not going to make much of an impact. So I thought, well, what's my point of posting these videos? I didn't really think to become a celebrity. I thought about posting these videos for my own children so that they can see, well, Dad, how do we address this? If I'm not there, or if I'm so old that I can't hearken back to them when they need me to, if I wanted to show what I could pass down to them so that they could remember, this would be the way to do it. How to navigate through this society is to be shrewd against white supremacy, to speak out effectively and to find support, and to be a leader where it calls for it. Leadership isn't now about the leader. It's about the good of those who they lead. I'm not even here to become a leader, but I am here to express myself and to be contributive to our future. My intention is to help make that happen. Make it so that more black kids can prevail and grow into their full potential. Learning from those who are more qualified in this new era is all I can do for now. Yeah, I dropped Professor Black Truth's name, not for some God knows what insidious tactic that could possibly do, but because he is owed the respect that he is owed. I'll continue to listen and to pay my respect for what is clearly a living icon and a forerunner and a person that most clearly, effectively gets the point across. That's my opinion of him. Let's move on from that. Let's move on from the personal, who are you, what are you about, and all this other crap. Post something about what more we can do to publish, whether it be a video or an article, to encourage or to help more black kids prevail, whether it be first graders or first year college students. I sure as hell am not going to become this kind of person that goes into cooning, nor acting like a thug. I'm not going to be caught up in these power play politics. I'm not mesmerized by celebrities. I'm not caught up in immature bickering. I'm not that interested in sports. I'm sorry, I'm not that interested in celebrity sports. I'm not here to hook up with a girl, and I'm not here to trash women. I am no fanatic, and I'm no cynic. See, cynicism is what has been poisoned to us. It's been poisoned to us by white supremacy. Cynicism we treat as our way of being really, really sharp. But sometimes you can take it too far that you overcompensate. You can't bring more people in that want to come in if you're constantly shutting people out. You can't make more of an impact if the newly arrived you look down upon. Don't be an elitist. Elitism is white supremacy. Now, one other thing I want to address, and this was actually part of what I was going to address prior to this, was that what I don't like seeing, and I'm glad, and this is one reason why I'm very trusting of what I see in New Black Media, is I am fed up with seeing a lighter shade of representation for black people. I am so tired of seeing lighter skinned, mixed biracial people be the voice, the most effective voice in the media to represent black interests. I'm not against lighter skinned people or mixed people, but I am against the saturation. And that's another reason why I just got tired of watching. But as far as this goes, let's get this clear. White supremacy comes from white people. It's trickled down to the coons. It's trickling down to the god-awful factions among us in various psychological ways. But white supremacy is not an abstract concept. From little kids being bullied in these little passive-aggressive ways even nowadays, and then made to look like the bully, to the impolite or rude coworker flippantly overlooking what is said and assuming the worst when you try to engage them in conversation to address something on the job, to the business owner, the black business owner, having to fight against insidious manipulations from contractors and regulators and even customers. These are the things that have to be dealt with because they're not going to go away. From taking a hit or a loss in your own business to being provoked into a jail cell for standing up for yourself and everything in between, black people have to be shrewd and more calculating. Not that we're not trying, not that there's not an effort, but there's no coordination, there's no structure that I know of, and it may be coming about with New Black Media on, hey, if you run a business, beware of these tactics, and this is how you respond to them. Beware of these scenarios and situations, and hey, here's where you can go to get some support so that you don't lose your business, so you don't get fired, so you don't get screwed over. It may not help everyone, but I'm tired of seeing Arab-owned businesses in the middle of the hood. I'm tired of seeing Arab-owned gas stations. I am fed up with that. So you can go on with your ha 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 response, or you can go on and say, hey, all right, I appreciate where you're coming from. But to the Calvins, I'm not going to spend another video trying to respond to you. I am still learning, and I want to understand how to be more effective. And debating with you is not the way.